Often a young boy, about 4 or 5 at that time, used to walk by my house. And if I'm working in the yard, I would stop him and talk with him, because I'm always curious and I like the way young minds work, and I'm always inquisitive about that. One of those days, I was in the house and I saw him walk by. Of course, he always is accompanied by his mom, young lady, in her late 20s. And as they were walking by, of course, the kid was looking into the home, because I not only spoke with him, I always gave him a candy at the end of our conversation. This time I thought, okay, he's expecting it, obviously. And I did notice him, so I went in and then took a couple of Lindor candies, which are really nice chocolate balls with some caramel inside. Very tasty candies, and he loves them. So I took it out and sort of called on him, and because he was just about to pass our home. So he looked with excitement, and then he stopped. And I knelt down. I always sort of come to his level and start talking to him. I gave him the candy. That day, he surprisingly asked me, "Where does candy come from?" His mom was saying, "You're supposed to say thank you, not ask questions." And I said, "That's okay." And so I asked him, "Do you want a short answer or a long answer?" The boy sort of didn't know how to respond to it. So he looked at his mom. Mom shrugged her shoulders. He turned to me and said, "Short answer." So I said, "Oh, well then, I just gave it to you. It came from me." And he said, he didn't say anything, but he looked at me quizzical, I'm not so sure that's the answer I was looking for. So I said to him, well, maybe you wanted the long answer. And I started by telling him, the grass, cows like to eat the grass. When they eat grass or hay, they turn that into milk, and milk comes out. We go and take it. And then at the same time, there are seeds that go into the soil somewhere in South America, and they become trees, and the trees yield cocoa beans, and we bring all of those things together. And I went on a little bit more in detail and then said, that's how we make candy. So you are basically eating soil, I said to him. He wasn't thrilled by that, and he just laughed and started eating the candy and ran away. His mom said thank you, and my wife was standing next to me by that time, and she handed the other candy to her, and they walked away. So Arjuna wants to know what is Adibhuta, Adidaiva, and Adiyagna. Right? Krishna starts by responding. Basically, the principle I was trying to tell that child that you're basically eating soil, although it's not the same form. It has been turned into chocolate through a big process. The fundamental idea in that is conservation of mass. Meaning, nothing in this world that's made out of matter can be destroyed or created. Physics principle. Like water can be made into steam by boiling, or into ice by cooling. You haven't destroyed water by boiling it, you have converted it into steam. And the steam's in the air. Eventually it will actually condense and become water again somewhere, someplace at some time. So that's what Krishna is saying, defining Adi Bhuta. Anything that can change from one form to another but cannot be destroyed or created by you is called Adi Bhuta, matter. And then he goes on and he answers, anything that is specific to human. So characteristics that are specific to human. Remember, we are also made out of Adi Bhuta. We are made out of matter. But there is more to us than matter. What is or what are those? We have a mind, we have an intellect, we have ego. These are specific characteristics to human and they are called Adi Daiva. And then the conscience, which is not just human only concept, it's all around, it's everywhere in the universe. That is Adi Yajna. That is basically God. That's basically the creator in everything, Krishna, if you wish. So we also can take a short answer. If the boy had said, when I said it came from me, he could have accepted it and said, oh yeah, thank you. And then gone on thinking that, well, the candy comes from him. That's the way in which many of us who have blind faith function. There is nothing wrong with it. The boy would have been happy enough to say, okay, it comes from him. Simple enough. The next time I need candy, I'll go to him. So that's the blind faith. That's the short answer. Everything is God, and I symbolize God as one of those idols, and that is whom I would pray is another way to function and be very peaceful as well. Or we can also take the long answer and try to understand it a little bit in a different way. I wouldn't say deeply or any other type of adjectives, use any other types of adjectives to qualify it. There are different ways in which we can sense or we can experience God. So that's verse 4, chapter 8.